Welcome back to the 2014 London Cup, hosted by Hoddesdon Kart Club. We've already seen the senior Rotax final, and next it's Rotax 177. To explain the difference, here's Adam Sadler.
This is a Rotax 125cc engine. The class is 177, which is the same as the normal senior Rotax class. It's just 15 kilos heavier driver and cart weight to the lighter class, which is for the heavier driver. We run the same tyre as the senior class. They're slightly stickier than the junior. They're called Mojo tyre, and it's a D2 compound. We have different sets of wheels we can put on the kart to lose grip and gain grip. These are full magnesium, what lose grip, and it helps on days like today when there's a lot of grip out on track. Rear tyres are slightly wider than the front tyre. That's just to help with grip. Every driver has the same tyre and the same wheel standard, so we all run exactly the same on tyres, wheels, etc. But we do make lots of changes, like we can change how far out we have the wheelbase on the carts. We can change the softness of axles, seats, change the softness of seats and seating position. But in general, the parts such as the engine, the carburettor, the airbox, the exhaust, they're all identical. The braking system, it's a standard braking system for a Tony kart. It's just a rear brake, it's just one disc, works on a hydraulic system, and we use .5 brake fluid, and it's just a set of brake pads will last you about one to two race meetings and you'll replace them. And most karts run the same sort of system.
We've seen plenty of rising young stars in action, but karting is a sport for drivers of all ages.
It's my first London Cup, and I'm really excited about it. I started karting this year at a ripe old age of 54, and I'm finding it very tough after being racing saloon cars back in the 80s and 90s. I've gotten better, and with the big grid and the razzmatazz, it's steeped in history, isn't it? You know, it's great to be a part of it. As a kart track, I would make it similar to Brands Hatch Indy, because it's short and stabby and not particularly overly fast, whereas other tracks are all about the top end speed. It's very technical, it's physically demanding and very punishing.
The 2013 London Cup champion was Dominic Russell, and he's back to defend his title this year. And his day started well, first and second in the two heats, giving him pole for the final.
Yeah, I started karting, well, properly karting, when I was 10 years old in my Coma Cadet. Been racing every category through the age limits, yeah. A couple of years ago, I came number 5 in the British Championship. It was my first year back after 3 years of an absence. But yeah, I've won the London Cup last year. I've won the Interclub Championship twice in a row. Yeah, I've been top boy in this category, really, I like to think. It's a good event. It's a good prize. Big trophy. Get your name on it.
So here's the grid. Pole position to Dominic Russell, the defending champion. Aaron Charles alongside. Ollie Smith and Scott Clee are on row 2. Tom Daniel and Ryan White on row 3. Then to complete the top 8, it's Dave Rendell and Sean Morter. The adrenaline rises. We're about to build up to the start of the final, the London Cup for Rotax 177. Here we go to the left, number 5, Dominic Russell from pole position. Perfect start. He gets the lead, and the SC plate of Ollie Smith is going to tuck into second place, and there's an off there for number 84, Sean Morter. He'll get going again and recover at the back of the field. Third position is number 68, Tom Daniel, and then in fourth place, 69, but Aaron Charles from fourth place. Contact, I think, from behind with number 16, Scott Clee, and he ends up in the tyre barriers as we go on board with Matthew Lear, one of the novice drivers, trying to force his way through the field here. And that's number 28, Tony Semple, you heard from before the race, making his way through out of the second hairpin. So, perfect start for Dominic Russell. He's already a couple of lengths clear at the end of the first lap of the race from his teammate Ollie Smith. Third position is number 68, Tom Daniel. Fourth place is number 17, which is Adam Sadler. Now we're going to get a replay of this incident coming out of the hairpin. Number 69 there, just forced out wide. That was contact. And number 16, Adam Sadler, came off with a dent, but out of the contention for the race, realistically, is Aaron Charles now. So first lap was about as far as it got for him, I'm afraid. Here we go then, battle for third position. Number 17, looking pretty racy here, is Adam Sadler. A bit more contact here on the exit to Paddock Bend. That was number 56, Tony Wigley, riding over the back of Ken Ivory. And it's delayed him somewhat, but I think he'll get back in the race. This is going to be a replay. Just a bit of contact there, and the front wheel over the back wheel rode him up, and he clipped the shoulder, maybe even the helmets of the driver ahead. Anyway, they both continue as we go back on board with Matthew Lear. A couple of karts running wide here. He's back onto the tail of number 28, Tony Semple. So good little scrap going on there further down the order. They're a third and fourth coming onto the start finish straight, and this might be a move from Adam Sadler. He's got the line, he's got the inside corner, and he's through to third place. So Sadler making a move there into a podium paying position. Once again on board with Matthew Lear, coming up to start a new lap. The head of that little group is number 94, which is Clive Carpenter. There he's number 29 with the onboard. Semple just ahead of him in kart 28. He's got a good run here, coming down into the hairpin. Not quite close enough to attack. Running out wide though is number 94, Clive Carpenter, and Semple gets by, and so too does Matthew Lear. There's Dominic Russell, the race leader, untroubled so far. Still being kept honest by his teammate Ollie Smith there. Yes, he's standing for Southern Champion, the Southern Champion of this year. There is Sadler. There in fourth place now is number 68, Tom Daniel. And there is number 16, the rather dented front nose cone, Scott Clee, after that collision at the start of the race with Aaron Charles. This looks like a tidy move. Number 84 making his way back through the field, Sean Morter on the novice driver Dean Fuller. That was on the way into Stadium Corner. So the front runners starting to bunch up here, not necessarily the top two, but for third place it's starting to get fairly tight. Third, fourth, fifth and sixth all within about a second of each other. Dominic Russell has controlled this race so far from pole position. There's the gap growing to his battle then for third place at the tail of that group. Number 58, Ryan White. And there a bit further back is 57, Dave Rendell, who has finished in the top 10 of the British Championship before, been in the top 8. This is the onboard view for him as he makes his way out now down towards hairpin number 1 on the exit to Reggie's elbow. Tidy line through there, drifts a little bit wide over the curbs, ready for the second right-hander. 2 hairpins in quick succession here. And there he is, number 57, but right onto his tail is number 76, Richard Wicklin. So these two having a good scrap inside the top 10. They make their way now into the S section here. Good chassis setup and good grip from the tyres required through that part of the course, and particularly on the exit to the final turn. Could be a move here, it's a good run, and having a go at the inside was number 76, Richard Wicklin. He backed off out of the move, and probably sensibly so, otherwise there may have been contact there. So for the time being, 57, Dave Rendell keeps his position. But 1 and 2 are starting to bunch up a bit further back as well. That was 56 running out wide, Tony Wigley falling back a place or two as they go through. So to the head of this little train is now number 57, Dave Rendell. And he makes his way now out of Complex Nouvelle. 3 of them tied together. Looks like 56 is dropping back, Tony Wigley. And out to start a new lap they go. In the mix as well, 47, Tony Parfit. He's a primary school teacher, and the school teacher makes a move. Good one, that. Give him an A+ for the move on the way into Stadium. And more to the point, he's kept the momentum on the way out of the corner as well. A bit further back, from 13th on the grid, is number 21, Sam Gage. Behind him, novice driver Dean Fuller. Those two tied together as they make their way through the first corner. Once again, the freedom of chassis allowed in this category, but there is very much a strict regulation on what you can use in terms of engines. They're all on the same 125cc engine, and limited in what you can do to modify those. So it's down to the setup of the car, down to what the driver can achieve, rather than necessarily throwing a load of money at things. And there's a moment further back now. It's Tony Semple, number 28, has had a spin. And number 69 in the wars again, at the same spot he was on lap number 1, Aaron Charles. Untroubled by all of this is our race leader, Dominic Russell, making his way very smoothly through the S's. Very smooth driving style. There's a conversation going on between the two that came off at the hairpin. Aaron Charles rather animated, Tony Semple trying to explain his case. I think we're just in the back end of the incident because they're already off at this point. 1 or 2 other karts almost involved in it. And there you can see they're arguing about whose fault that was. Anyway, they're both out of contention now as we see a challenge here on the way into the same corner. A couple of laps later, Ryan White, and that is on number 16, Scott Clee. Runs a bit wide on the way out of the corner. They're going to be wheel to wheel when we see them coming in towards Complex Nouvelle. And there will be a change between them. Very tight battle, that. Gap almost metronomically the same between these two at the head of the field. Coming up now to lap some of the back markers, and Dominic Russell trying to gesture them out of the way here so he doesn't lose any time. We go on board with Dave Rendell, number 57, and he's making his way up towards Stadium now. And 47 having a clip up the inside there was Tony Parfit. He's already pulled off some good moves there. Dave Rendell with the onboard making his way through and down towards the hairpin section once again, carrying the onboard camera. So some good tussles going on through the pack. It looked like Scott Clee, number 16, did lose that 5th place to Ryan White, number 58. There's Matthew Lear, who's been carrying the onboard camera, number 29. He's coming up to be lapped. And one of the two of the back markers getting in the way, one or two of the front runners here. That's number 17, Adam Sadler, gesticulating as he tries to get through as well. So there you see those two swapped around for 5th place now, with the moves at the hairpin on the previous lap. So this is the battle for the final step on the podium. With number 68, Tom Daniel, all over the case of Adam Sadler. Adam was a bit frustrated with the back markers, but he didn't actually lose the place. Making his way through the back markers and growing the advantage now is Dominic Russell here. He's almost home and dry. He goes on to the final lap of the race. Ollie Smith is almost as quick as him, but not quite. There's only probably about 1/10 of a second a lap between them. That gap has grown out to just about a second now over the course of the race. Who's going to join them on the podium and who will finish up there in the top 10 with them? Number 76 with a bit of bumper damage there was Richard Wicklin, who's going pretty well in the race. And there is Dominic Russell then in for the final time to the S's, untroubled. And it's going to be back-to-back London Cup Championship titles for this man. He was confident ahead of the race. He got the lead into turn 1 and he's never looked back since. He takes the checkered flag. Dominic Russell once again wins the London Cup in Rotax 177. Second place to Ollie Smith, 0.7 of a second behind. Adam Sadler retained 3rd position by just a couple of 10ths of a second from Scott Daniel. Ryan White was 5th, Scott Clee 6th, Tony Parfitt and Dave Rendell complete the top 8.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm happy with my result. To be honest, I was shaking a little bit halfway through the race, but hopefully just to keep my teammate back, I just thought I needed to put a couple of laps in the middle and just kept them off. But I was on the edge of my seat with Ollie. It was a hard race, very hard. Although you're starting at the front, in a way it's harder. You've got to keep them all back. And as I said, I was on the edge of my seat with Ollie there.
So well done to Dominic Russell, Ollie Smith and Adam Sadler at top 3.
Time for us to take another short break now, but make sure you join us in just a few minutes' time while coverage of the 2014 London Cup continues.